From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Weekly.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Weekly. We're glad you joined us for this look at what's happening in and around Troy University. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Well, Troy University has many organizations aimed at building leaders on campus. And one of those organizations, Freshman Forum, held its 2017 High School Leadership Conference Thursday in an effort to give high school students insight on how the organization helps build future campus leaders. Justin Walker shows us how.
A commitment to excellence and leadership through service, enthusiasm, and Trojan pride. This is a slogan of Troy University's Freshman Forum, and on Thursday, the forum hoped to spread that commitment to high school students attending the 2017 Freshman Forum Conference.
Today is our Freshman Forum Leadership Conference, and it's really for high school students, mainly high school seniors, but a lot of freshmen and sophomore and juniors come. And so it's a great experience really for them to learn about Troy and how to really grow in their leadership skills in high school and to take that on to their college years.
The students had the opportunity to attend different workshops featuring resume building, community service, and a college experience panel, giving insight on student life on Troy University's campus. Fountain says that she hopes that the high school students will leave with a positive impact on how to become a better leader.
I hope that they really gain a lot of leadership skills. That's like mainly this is a high school leadership conference, so really learning like what it means to be a leader and what it means to really go from high school to college and make a difference on campus.
One student says that she will leave campus more in love with Troy than when she arrived because the people that she met are what made her overall experience better.
It was overall amazing. The people here are very friendly, they're encouraging, they want you to come and do very well on their campus, and they'll do anything, I mean anything, to show you that they want you here.
This Saturday, Troy will crown a new Miss Troy University. Lydia Williams gives us a look at how the contestants are getting ready for the big night.
On Wednesday night, 10 ladies gathered together in Crosby Theater to rehearse for the Miss Troy University pageant. Former Miss Troy University, Mary Beth Moore, explains what they are preparing for on Saturday night.
So basically, I am helping with rehearsals and just getting all the contestants ready to compete on Saturday. The phases of competition are talent, evening gown, swimsuit, a private interview with the judges, and then onstage question.
Contestant Jessica Edwards explains her excitement for the pageant and also about the benefits that come with it.
I am extremely excited. I'm just really happy to be amongst other women who are really passionate about the university and just making sure that they're setting a good example for themselves. And I just feel like the Miss Troy pageant can really unlock a lot of things about a person on the inside and outside. So I'm just really excited about the pageant this year.
Moore explains her experience as Miss Troy University 2017.
It is the coolest job in the entire world, and it has been a joy to represent Troy this past year. And I'm a little sad to give it up, but I'm excited to welcome one of these contestants into this sisterhood because it is absolutely an incredible experience.
On Saturday night, one lucky lady will be crowned the next Miss Troy University on the stage right behind me. Lydia Williams, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Homecoming week has come and gone for Troy University, and one of the highlights from the week is the annual homecoming parade. Seth Hawk hit the downtown square to capture all the action from the homecoming parade.
Saturday morning, the city of Troy kicked off Homecoming Day festivities with a parade. Multiple organizations from Troy University, the city of Troy, and the surrounding areas were represented. And according to one Troy University alumna, the hard work being put into the parade by the city was very clear.
It gives you a lot of pride in where you came from and how it's still growing and everybody's attitude about it. So it's really cool to see. Just seeing everybody, people that I hadn't seen in a while, and just the excitement, the atmosphere of it.
With highlights that included dancing in the streets, horseback riding, and old vehicles riding down the street. Troy Chancellor Dr. Jack Hawkins Jr. says that the homecoming parade is always a highlight of homecoming week.
I thought it was a great parade. This is the 63rd consecutive year that the city of Troy has sponsored the parade, and it's really reflective of the great partnership that the city and the university share. So it's always fun. There's nothing like a small town parade, and I certainly appreciated the fact that we didn't have rain, and that was a thread early.
This year's theme for homecoming was Falling for Troy, and according to Chancellor Hawkins, it's more than just a catchphrase.
Troy is a special university, special place, and I think it reflects the fact that all of us who are involved in this university really are falling for Troy. I don't think there's a beginning point necessarily and an ending point that's so clearly defined, but I think that once you become part of this Troy University family, then it's an ongoing experience, and you continually fall for Troy. I know I certainly have over the 29 football seasons I've been part of this.
The Troy Trojan football team went on to defeat the Georgia Southern Eagles later in the day during the homecoming game. Seth Hawk, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The student activities leading up to the homecoming game and many activities during the game are planned and put on by Troy Student Government Association. And even though we're just a few days removed from the big day, Page Week shows us that the SGA is already starting work for next year.
Homecoming is in the books, and now Troy Student Government Association needs students' help in order to make next year's homecoming even better. The SGA is planning multiple events geared toward getting students' feedback on their opinions about this year's homecoming.
We can take those and use it when we redo events and when we look at what we're going to do for next semester, but also so that I can take those to administration and my opportunities to meet with them and tell them what the students want.
Students are encouraged to not only voice their thoughts about homecoming, but also what they think Troy itself can improve on.
We're really focused on finding out what it is that Troy students need done better or differently, or what it is that we can do to keep Troy students here.
Even though homecoming is over, Morris says that there is no reason for students to feel as though the excitement is gone. There are plenty of events that students can still get involved with here on Troy's campus.
The Out of the Darkness Walk is coming up, Miss Troy pageant is coming up, so a lot of different things that students can go to and see how our university is really interacting with the community.
The SGA will kick off their feedback events, starting with a public relations tent on the Quad Thursday and the Freshman Forum/SGA tailgate that evening. Paige Weeks, Troy, TrojanVision News.
We'll take a short break, but when we return, we'll see how some Troy University students got the chance to guest conduct the Sound of the South. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
So we were walking to school. I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart.
want cheese pizza.
Sometimes her mind wanders.
We should have a sleepover.
I remember saying, Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
I really hope she doesn't have another bad day.
I really hope I don't have another bad day at school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Now back to Troy TrojanVision News Weekly.
A Troy University class spent Thursday afternoon shining the spotlight on domestic violence and its effects in a symposium outside of the Trojan Center. Nathaniel Rodriguez has the details.
Troy University's victimology class has held a symposium on domestic violence outside the Trojan Center Wednesday afternoon. As part of an annual project headed by criminal justice professor Jessica Childs, students brought posters they made and answered questions about the different topics associated with domestic abuse.
They all contain different things, different topics. So there's financial abuse, there's elderly abuse, there's child abuse, the effects on them as well from domestic violence. So basically the boards, they give warning signs, the statistics, different symptoms that each of them go through.
In addition to covering different types of domestic abuse, these boards also contain resources on where to find shelter or how to create a safe plan if a person is in an abusive situation.
They have certain numbers you can call, hotlines for dealing with domestic violences of any sort. They have statistics and rates of the sexual abuse and all this type of information that is out there.
Kendrick said he hoped students left a little more educated on a subject that could be considered taboo.
Domestic violence is not really the most talked about, especially in sexual abuse and stuff like that. Not really reported as much, and we just want to get the word out there and bring people knowledge to the people around on campus and get it out there.
Nathaniel Rodriguez.
While Halloween was the holiday on most people's minds this week, Troy University's Spanish Club was bringing people's attention to a well-known Mexican holiday that's celebrated on November 1st. Ashley Brown has the details.
The Spanish Club celebrated El Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead, Wednesday morning in the Trojan Center. Students got the opportunity to learn about the Spanish holiday from club members.
Today we are celebrating Dia de los Muertos, which is a celebration in Mexico that's celebrated there for November 1st and November 2nd. November 1st they celebrate children that have passed away, and November 2nd they celebrate adults that have passed away. And what they do is they make very big and elaborate and beautiful altars in their houses, and they'll make different types of foods that the deceased enjoyed while they were living, because they believe the scent of the foods will bring them back to the house, so that way they can just spend that day with their loved ones that have passed away. And it's just a happy day to celebrate the lives of those that deceased.
While students were learning about the Spanish holiday, they were also able to buy treats and the Day of the Dead design face painting.
We're here today for in celebration of Dia de los Muertos, and the Spanish Club, we do this as a fundraiser every year, basically to bring awareness about the Mexican holiday.
The Spanish Club brought Mexico right to the Trojan Center with their decorated skull heads, altars, and baked goods. I'm Ashley Brown, Troy, TrojanVision News.
When artists die, they're often remembered by the artistic legacy they leave behind. Well, Sunday afternoon, the Troy University Symphony Band commemorated the late David Maslanka with their fall concert. Nathaniel Rodriguez has the details.
Music filled Claudia Crosby Theater Sunday afternoon as the Troy University Symphony Band performed its second fall concert. The band played 5 pieces such as Benediction by John Stevens and David Maslanka's Liberation, which had the band singing Latin text along with instrumentation.
Dr. Peter Howard, who's our professor in classics, and then Dr. Catherine Allard, who's a professor in the School of Music, came and talked to the band about the Latin verse to Libera Me, and then taught the students how to pronounce the text properly in Latin.
Aside from having Maslanka's piece included in the program, Walker also dedicated the concert to Maslanka, who passed away on August 7, 2017. Walker said while he only met the composer once, Maslanka's music meant a lot to him and the symphony band as a whole.
Our students have taken to him and taken to his music and taken to his ideas of goodness and redemption and things like that, and that's all encompassed in his music and all of his pieces.
And even though the concert is done, the symphony band still has some work to do.
Well, we're going to read some music, we're going to read some stuff by some of our student composers and that kind of thing, and then we're going to get ready for our Sounds of the Season concert, which is on December the 7th at 8 p.m.
As you've gone to a Trojan football game, you've more than likely heard the sound of the South. And while it doesn't take much effort to enjoy the music, a little more is required to actually conduct the band. However, that didn't stop some Troy students from trying their hand at it on Tuesday afternoon. Justin Walker has the story.
If you were walking across Bibb Graves Quad this afternoon, the sound of music filled your ears. The Sound of the South played some of their favorite songs, including some with a Halloween theme. It wasn't the drum major that was conducting the band, however, as students were given an opportunity to direct a song.
So today, Tau Beta Sigma, which is a service organization that serves the Sound of the South Band program, we have a series of projects that we get prompts for this month, and one of them was to do some kind of pep band on our quad or somewhere on campus. So we decided to host a Conduct Us so that students could come out and enjoy the band and enjoy making music with us and have a good time on Halloween.
Band members say that they were impressed to see so many students coming out to give their conducting skills a try, in spite of the experience those students had.
The turnout has been absolutely incredible. So many people are just so excited to come and conduct us, so it's great.
It's been really, really good. There's a lot of good musicians here, and there's been a lot of students come by that are really excited about conducting and playing.
And one student says that even though he has a lot of band experience, he had fun trying something new.
It was just really kind of fun because I've been in music all of my life, and just getting to be the one that controls what they do, it was just an interesting experience.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll learn about a group on campus that is helping students get prepared for a career in law. That and more coming up right after this.
Every day, we go about our lives driven by routine. Our vision is clouded by the very normalcy we take for granted. Countless victims of human trafficking walk among us, invisible, until now. The Blue Campaign provides a unified voice for those who combat human trafficking. Whether it's forced labor, domestic servitude, or the sex trade, it's time to open our eyes. Learn what you can do to help by visiting dhs.gov/Blue Campaign.
Does your family need a break from the daily routine?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. If you or someone you know needs a healthy dose of nature, visit discovertheforest.org and trade in the big screen for the big blue sky by visiting a local park or forest near you.
Hiking, picnicking, swimming, orienteering, climbing, admiring wildlife, or inhaling fresh air may result in heightened creativity, feelings of joy, harmony, satisfaction, and a euphoria that can only be explained as oneness with the natural world. Whoa.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
Troy University students with aspirations of becoming a lawyer have a student-led resource available to them. Amy Russo gives us a look at what Troy University's Pre-Law Society has to offer.
Troy University Pre-Law Society is an organization provided for undergraduate students to develop knowledge on law and help make an informed decision about pursuing a career in legalities. Any undergraduate student with an interest in law will gain knowledge of the diverse legalities in each state and grow to develop a more informed decision about which law school to attend.
Pre-Law Society is for students on campus to learn more about law schools and how the admission process works and how to become more involved on campus.
The Pre-Law Society is preparing to become the first legal fraternity at Troy University. Phi Alpha Delta, which is the largest law fraternity in the nation, requires the organization to raise $2,000 before becoming an officially recognized fraternity. The Pre-Law Society hopes to gain the fraternity title by December.
Pre-Law Society is selling raffle tickets right now for $2 a piece to win box seats to the Troy versus Idaho game on Thursday, November the 2nd. You can purchase tickets from any member of the society.
Students are also given an opportunity to learn more about law schools and how to breach the gap between their undergraduate and master degree.
The Pre-Law Society just hosted their annual Law Day, in which 4 law schools came and gave presentations about their admissions processes. We had a really great turnout. Most of the professors in our department canceled classes and to let all of their students come. We had 4 presentations by really great law schools, and it was a really informational morning.
To become a member of the Pre-Law Society, one must attend a meeting and pay the yearly fee of $10. Meetings are every other Wednesday at 5 p.m. in Bibb Graves 143. Amy Russo, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Trojan fans were rooting for the football team as they took on the Idaho Vandals Thursday night. And on the sidelines, there were a group of dedicated Trojans keeping the fans pepped up as the game went into the late night hours. Summer Leach gives us a look at what goes into being a Troy cheerleader.
Troy University is filled with several sports within the school, but who is there to support our teams other than the fans? You guessed it, the cheerleaders.
We do basketball, volleyball. Sometimes we attend soccer, but we just cheer in the stands. And then we do football. I think that's it during the fall.
To be a Trojan cheerleader, it takes a lot of dedication, but with that dedication leads the cheer team into a close family atmosphere.
Well, this is my 4th year cheering, so I can say it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work. It takes being willing to wake up at 6 in the morning sometimes and go work out and come to practice ready to go.
Well, we practice a lot and we've been through a lot, but we're a family together, one Troy.
And with the support of our cheerleaders, it's hard for any of our Trojan sports teams not to fall into a victory.
ASU, I definitely want to say it's ASU. The crowd was very energetic and they were incorporated with us in the cheer, so it was pretty good.
I think basketball, getting to attend the conference championship at the end of the year is really fun in New Orleans, and then once they make it past that, getting to cheer against Duke for the March Madness was really cool.
Not only do the Trojan cheerleaders support our sports teams at home, but they also support the Trojans when they are away.
I think getting to travel and getting the experience of getting to go different places that you normally wouldn't get to go.
Summer Leach, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
For most people, fishing is a fun pastime. However, for a group of Troy students, they're a little more competitive when they hit the lake. Casey Watson introduces us to Troy University's bass fishing team.
In 2007, Troy University gained a unique organization. It is called the Troy Bass Fishing Team, and today they are still thriving.
We just got a couple new guys, and some of us have been there for all 4 years, and we've got a girl on the team now, which is pretty cool.
Troy Bass Fishing Team has 15 members, and they'll compete 7 times during the fall and 12 times during the spring.
The tournaments that we go to, it's all college tournaments. There's usually about 200 boats in the tournament.
Members divide into groups of 2 where they compete as individual teams. D4 says that the total weight at the end of the tournament decides a winner.
Your 5 biggest fish, and at the end of either the 1 day, or if it's a 2-day tournament or a 3-day tournament, is the total weight at the end of those 2 or 3 days.
Last fall, Troy Bass Fishing Team had multiple boats finish in the top 20, which resulted in a huge win for the team.
We competed, it was the University of South Alabama Fall Series on Lay Lake last year, and it was a heck of a time. We had several boats in the top 20.
Anyone can join the Troy Bass Fishing Team, and it does not cost a lot to be a member, just a one-time due each semester.
It's $80 a semester for dues, and that's it.
For more information on the Troy Bass Fishing Team and to stay up to date on what they are doing, you can follow them on any of the social media platforms they are active on.
You can look us up on Facebook or look us up on Instagram. It's just Troy Bass Fishing Team.
Casey Watson, Troy TrojanVision News.
And it's time for our last break. When we return, we'll learn how a stroll around the Troy University track can help raise suicide awareness. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
The Troy community has the chance to bring awareness to suicide through walking at an event this weekend. We'll learn more about this year's Out of the Darkness Walk in this week's Trojan Talk. Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Today we'll be learning about an opportunity for people to help bring awareness to suicide and suicide prevention. And my guest today, Madison Hale, with Trojan Outreach, speaking on behalf of the Out of Darkness Walk here at Troy University. But it's a community event to help bring awareness to suicide and suicide prevention. Tell me a little bit about the event itself.
Okay, well, the event is on November 5th. From 2 to 3:30 p.m. at the Troy University track. The event is just a day where you can come out, kind of raise awareness, be educated on suicide prevention, and you'll get the opportunity to walk, listen to some really great speakers, some great live music. There will be activities for children, some fall festival type events, and your kids will be safe. So if you wanted to walk around and stuff, you would be able to do that during the event.
And of course, a lot of people, they hear you say you're talking about walking, but a lot of folks, may not understand what the concept of walk, but it's very similar to other kind of fundraising walkathon type events, right? So
it's kind of like a Relay for Life, but just for suicide prevention and awareness and getting the word out. That's our main thing, is just being able to start that conversation about suicide prevention and making it less stigmatized.
No, and that's what I was going to mention, is that suicide, it's one of these things that has kind of a social stigma to it, that if you've experienced it or been a part of it or had a family member that's been affected, a lot of people don't want to talk about it. But one would think that by bringing some of this out to light, it might help others.
Yes, sir. That's completely our goal, and we're hoping to just make sure that through this event we have people on standby at the event in case anything was to go wrong or some emotions were to come up for people. So we'll have counselors on standby. We'll have medical professionals in case anything happens during the walk, though it's not that intense. But we'll be well prepared for it.
And of course, and even though this is a kind of a severe subject matter and probably a little dreary for most folks, but there's going to be fun activities. And it's kind of the flip side of that there's an opportunity to have fun in this so that you can maybe help someone else.
And we're just trying to make it a community event, so everybody's welcome. The university is partnering with the hospital. The hospital is the one who's heading it up, and we've partnered with other various community members, other school systems, other businesses. It's been a great opportunity to get the whole community together.
And of course, people out there who want to get involved and actually participate in the walk, what do they need to do to become a part of the actual walk itself?
Just go to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention website, and they'll be able to register for the Troy location walk. And if you don't have a team or you don't have team members, you can go and register as a ghost walker, or you can register the day of the event at 1 o'clock, because we will open it up before that the day.
And of course, if you've got a group and you want to start your own team, you can, but there is an opportunity to maybe join some other teams if you're by yourself, is that right? So you don't necessarily have to have a group.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
All right. So, and you mentioned you can register the day before, but the day of. But you would prefer if they register before that, right?
Yeah, it would save them a little bit of time, and it would save us a little bit of paperwork and trying to get everything situated, and it would help us prepare to have ample supplies and everything there at the day of the event.
And of course, let's talk a little bit about suicide and how it affects individuals, because this is something that a lot of people, they know is out there, but they may not know how prevalent it is, and especially across all ages. Talk a little bit about that, because I know you've mentioned some experiences and some things that have come up in the past. So
within the past year, I don't know the exact numbers, so don't quote me on them, but there have been at least 3 students at the elementary age who have committed suicide in the past year in surrounding areas. The Crenshaw County area, Montgomery area, Pike County area. It's been very prevalent, and it's hit the school systems very hard.
And that's one of the things that a lot of people may not realize, and that's what an event like this is geared toward, is that it can be any age, it could be anyone at any time, and you don't know. And in that regard, you talk about that there's going to be some counselors present there, and even if someone isn't actively walking in this, if they've been affected by suicide, this might be an opportunity, you would think, right, to come and maybe talk to someone about that.
Exactly, and that's why we're hoping to have, or why we will have counselors on site, and they'll have people to talk to, and it will be a good event if you've been affected by it, if you know somebody who has been affected by it. Really, it's just to be there as a resource for the community.
All right, well, once again, before we go, give us the time and place for the walk.
November 5th from 2 to 3:30 p.m., but registration will open at 1 that day, and it's at the Troy University track. All
right, so an opportunity to help bring awareness to suicide. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for this edition of Trojan Talk. And that's what happened on the first week of November 2017. To find out what's happening throughout the week, you can tune in to Troy TrojanVision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30 Monday through Friday, or anytime by following us on Twitter at Troy TV News. Also, feel free to like our Troy TrojanVision News fan page on Facebook and see links to online content from Troy TrojanVision News. We hope you join us again next week for another edition of Troy TrojanVision Weekly. Have a good week.